A report today from Yahoo Sports' Jake Fisher linking Terry Rozier to the Miami Heat. A DeJounte Murray update, and Miami Heat have another game today. That and more in another episode of Miami Heat Talk. What's up, you guys? Your boy Ernest here, back with another video. Before we get started, don't forget to smash the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. And together, let's rock and roll on another Miami Heat Talk adventure. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. 2 videos in one day? I'd be spoiling you guys. Come on. But look, I'll be honest with y'all. I wasn't planning on cutting anything today. I posted a video earlier today. It was another episode of Miami Heat Roundtable with myself, Team to Beat Miami Heat Network. Unfortunately, Miami Heat Zone podcast wasn't available. We usually like to try to do the 4 of us, but if not, we give you guys the most that we can. Loving the little round table. I was set with that video today. Gave a couple shorts for you guys. I'm going to be doing more shorts now. I'm going to get you guys something a little bit different. I'm also working on an intro video. So there's a lot of different things I'm trying to do for this channel to grow it, to make it, a lot better for you guys. But with all that said, I was going to spend today to kind of, build the channel a little more. And then we get this huge update from Jake Fisher on Yahoo Sports. Now, Jake Fisher is a senior writer for Yahoo Sports. He's released many credible sources, many credible reports. There was a report that came out today that if Terry Rozier is traded from the Charlotte Hornets, that he prefers to join the Miami Heat. That's a huge one, you guys. I know a lot of you in the comments have mentioned Terry Rozier. I know some of the guys over in the Miami Heat Roundtable have mentioned Terry Rozier. Charlotte, we've talked about it before with the whole Gordon Hayward situation. Charlotte at this point, they're looking to just give it up, like they're one of the worst teams in the NBA. They're looking to get the highest draft lottery stash that they can, even though this draft isn't really the best still. At this point, it's just building around LaMelo Ball, and trying to continue to grow. But with that said, Terry Rozier has a $24 million contract annual salary. It's definitely tradable from us. It's definitely something that we can make work and we can make it happen. Now, it's like I've mentioned before, you guys. The Miami Heat, when they're looking to do a trade, it's going to be something that's going to benefit us. We don't need to be sellers at this point. We're looking to upgrade the roster. Now, I've said this before and I'll say it again. I love what Kyle Lowry brings to the team. I understand he only averages 9 points a game this season, 4 assists, 4 rebounds. But what he does on the floor, you guys, does not show in the box stats. The fact that he's 37 years old, taking charges on a January game, shows you what type of level of competitiveness that Kyle Lowry brings to the table. However, with the fact that he has a $29 million contract and those are the numbers that he's giving you, I'd prefer somebody like a Terry Rozier. Because Terry Rozier, who's making $5 million less this season, is averaging 24 points a game, 7 assists, 4 rebounds, 45% from the field, 37% from the three-point line, almost 88% from the free throw line. He's hovering around that 50, 40, 90 mark that we've talked about, you guys. He averages a steal a game. He's a 6'1", 190-pound combo guard. Not somebody you want to put as your 2. But as a starting point guard next to Tyler Hero, yeah, the defense isn't going to be the best, but they're going to be known for their youth and their speed. And it's like we've mentioned before, you guys, our defense makes up for certain players like that. The fact that we have Bam Adebayo, Jimmy Butler, you can plug in Caleb Martin, Haywood Highsmith. We're going to be fine defensively if we make that trade. It's not like Rozier's going to be worse than Kyle Lowry. Rozier can handle his own on the defensive end. He's young, he's quick. I think he's somebody that can definitely help us. Now, the question is, can we get this done? I think definitely. I think the Miami Heat can definitely make this trade work, you guys. If they're willing to take Kyle Lowry, and I've said this a million times, but we know that with an expiring contract, it's going to be beneficial for a team like Charlotte. You're going to get those numbers off your books, along with Gordon Hayward, who also was making $30 million. You're able to trade for Kyle Lowry. You have Kyle Lowry and Gordon Hayward about to be off your books, so it's going to free up cap space. You're going to be able to build around LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller for the future, and hopefully these guys are going to be something moving forward. Now, with Terry Rozier, you guys, give me 1 second, you guys. I want to pull up something real quick. Sorry about that, you guys. Have a little doing this while I'm working. Anyway, so Terry Rozier, he does have 3 years left on his contract. He's making an average of about $25 million a year. So if you're the Miami Heat, you need to ask yourselves, do you want to take in Terry Rozier with the fact that he has 3 years left on his contract? Because remember, that second apron is going to be a pain in the ass moving forward. And if you trade for Terry Rozier, you will be a second apron team moving into next season, possibly. It's depending on how the numbers work around. Andy Ellsberg is the best numbers guy in the NBA. If a trade is going to happen, he's going to make sure that we probably stay under the bracket line. And if we make this trade, we would. Because if we trade out Kyle Lowry and take in Terry Rozier, that's $4 million less. And for next season, it may be able to work. And the reason why I say next season we may be a second apron team, we don't know what we're doing with Caleb Martin. If we end up giving Caleb Martin a contract, which I doubt we will, then we will be a second apron team. So we have to fluctuate and make it work as far as the numbers work, because you really don't want to be a second apron team. If you're a second apron team going into the offseason, you're not going to have a mid-level exception. You're not going to have a biannual exception. All that you can offer free agents is a minimum contract. You don't want to do that. And then when you're a second apron team, you can't aggregate trades. It's a nightmare with the whole CBA moving forward. So I think this is a trade that you make if you can stay under the second apron line. And I know it's a boring topic to talk about, you guys, but that's what the reality moving forward with the NBA. And then saying this, why are we coming up with Terry Rozier? Why are we talking about Terry Rozier? There's still Donovan Mitchell. There's still DeJounte Murray. Well, I've said this before, you guys. I don't think a Donovan Mitchell trade is going to happen during this during the season. If it happens, it's going to be in the off season. And the Miami Heat want to make a trade to help us win now. Now, another reason why the Heat don't want to make any trades right now is because they're looking to save future assets and draft picks. So we don't really know what the Heat are looking for. Maybe they're holding off for a Donovan Mitchell trade. I think the Heat need to stop doing that. Stop going for whales. Stop hunting for whales. I understand that Donovan Mitchell is the dream, but if he was available now, then go for it. But if he's not going to be available to the offseason, then what are we doing here? We only have a limited window with Jimmy Butler's prime, so we need to cash in now. So I don't think the Heat should wait for a Donovan Mitchell trade. If you can make a trade for a Terry Rozier or a DeJounte Murray and you have to give up a future first-round draft pick, do it. Do it, because it's going to help us win now. I love Kyle Lowry, but in my opinion, DeJounte Murray and Terry Rozier help us better than what Kyle Lowry does. Now, here's the thing about trading for Terry Rozier. If we trade for a Terry Rozier, there's a possibility, and we have to make the numbers work, but instead of giving them a first-round draft pick, we may be able to get away with it by giving up Nikola Jovic. Because now if you're trading for Terry Rozier, you can't just give him an expiring contract. You got to give him something for the future, whether it's a future first-round draft pick or a Nikola Jovic. I prefer the first-round draft pick if they would take it. Now, there's a reason why I'm saying this, because talks are kind of dwindling away from DeJounte Murray. It was reported earlier today that the Miami Heat are not aggressively pursuing DeJounte Murray. And if you guys remember, I posted a video a week ago talking about that the Miami Heat and Atlanta Hawks have made discussions. And after that report was made, nothing happened after that. So my opinion, here's what I think happened. Miami talked to Atlanta. Miami wanted to see what Atlanta wanted. Atlanta wanted multiple first-round draft picks, and I think the Heat were just like, no. That's what I think happened. Maybe the Heat closed the door on that. There's still time with the trade deadline. Who knows? But there was a report that came out that said the Miami's not really aggressively pursuing them. So maybe that means that the Heat are just trying to make a trade that that benefits them the best. And having to give up future first-round draft picks just doesn't work for them. And let's remember, you guys, I know that there was a report that came out that said that Kyle Lowry's on the trade block. This has been since last year. It's nothing new to report. The Heat are going to dangle Kyle Lowry's expiring contract because if they can get something better, why not? I think this might fit. I think Terry Rozier may be the best bet because not only would we be able to give him up for Kyle Lowry, but because we may not have to give up so much draft capital as well because he has 2 more years left on his contract. So that might work for us. So I want to know what you guys think. Do you think that the Miami Heat should trade for Terry Rozier? And if we do, what do you think is a good and safe trade for us? Would you give up multiple first-round picks? Do you think we have to? Do you think that a Kyle Lowry and maybe a future second would be enough? I want to hear from you guys. If you're asking me, I think there's going to be two possible trades. It'll be Terry Rozier for Kyle Lowry and a future first-round draft pick, or Terry Rozier and another player for Kyle Lowry, Nikola Jovic possibly as well. So those are two options right there. Let me know which one you would do, you guys. Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to smash the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. And you guys, please, if you haven't seen it yet, watch the video I posted earlier today of the Miami Heat Roundtable with myself, the Team to Beat Miami Heat channel, Miami Heat Network channel, and also don't forget we also work with Miami Heat Zone podcast. Give them a like, give them a subscribe. Boys are doing some great things over there. Thank you so much for the support, you guys, and until next time, your boy Ernest out. That's enough said. Let's go Heat.